My name's Marilyn Miller, and today I am going to be showing you some ways to release your big calf muscles, your gastrocnemius muscles as they're called, and how to engage your deep intrinsic foot and calf muscles, your posterior tibialis and your flexor hallucis longus. So if you have a lot of calf, foot pain, fallen arches, things like that, these are some exercises that would be really good for you. So we're going to start off. I'm going to be working with a foam roller, or you can also just use a tennis ball, which is really easy. So one way that we can work to release our big gastrocnemius, which is a really big calf muscle, is kind of broadly, we can just rest our leg on the foam roller and then just gently roll the leg in and out. So this is going to give us some really kind of broad-based release. It's not going to be as specific as using the tennis ball, but you might want to start with this just to kind of start working that outer layer and just go back and forth. And you might feel like, oh, there's some more sensitive areas in here, so those are the areas we're going to want to get into with the tennis ball, right? So maybe do that for a minute or so, and I'm going to switch over to our tennis ball here. Now from our tennis ball, we're going to find that sensitive area that we were just on, and we're going to press down deep into that. Now, you can get into your big calf muscle this way, you can get into some of your toe muscles as well, but I am working mostly that lateral gastroc. And so why is that important? Your gastroc muscles, your big calf muscles, kind of act like your bully, right? They take over. There's a lot of stuff going on. We think of our bicep and our arm, it's pretty clear. We've got two muscles right here, two heads of the bicep muscle right here, and not a lot of other stuff going on. Our forearm muscle tends to have more intrinsics when we relate to our fingers, but not so much our bicep. Here, with our calf muscle, with our gastroc, we've got all of the muscles that work the toe, that work inversion and eversion of the foot, abduction, adduction of the toes, everything else. So we've got a lot of possibilities for dysfunction in here. So again, just reaching into that tender sore spot on your gastroc, and you can go both on the outside and the inside. So if you really have strong calves and you really tighten them up, you'll notice there's a very distinct two parts to it, right? So we're going to go on the inside part and then switch the leg and kind of go on that outside part. Cool. All right, so we're going to take that away. Without working on my equipment, I can show you how to do that in a second on the equipment. How do now we start working the intrinsic muscle of that calf, that deep posterior tibialis? So I like to call the posterior tibialis the chicken wing muscle. And the reason for that is our lower leg has two bones. So if you think about a chicken wing, if you've ever eaten chicken wings, right, we're going to take the little end piece, throw that away. We're going to take the drumstick and throw that away. You have the middle piece that has two bones. And in between that middle piece, those two bones of that middle piece, there's little muscles in there, little pieces of meat. Well, we have two bones down here, and in between those two bones, in what's called the interosseous space, we have the muscle of the posterior tibialis. And the posterior tibialis comes down and it hooks underneath the arch of the foot, and it helps to create a lift in the transverse or the sideways plane of that arch. So we need to see if we can find that posterior tibialis and wake that up more so than the big bully muscles. And how do we do that? We're going to think simply about taking our heel, and we're going to draw our heel backwards from inside, right? And what I'm looking for here is literally a line of fire just going right down the inside center of your calf, but deep, not superficial. So if you feel that you're just kind of broadly gripping the whole thing, you're working that big gastroc, that bully muscle, that takeover muscle. He wants to do everything. If we're working into that posterior tibialis, then we're getting a little bit deeper in there, right? So we're just going to practice that. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you might feel another part of your calf doing it. Try to do the work. If so, take this ball, put the ball underneath the part of the calf that's trying to do the work, and see if you can come back and fire up into that line of fire. Anyway, There you go. That's a really easy way to start getting some foot dysfunction resolved. The more you work to get that posterior tibialis engaged, the more you're going to lift that arch up. You can start to correct your fallen arches. Anyone who's had a neuroma in their foot, oftentimes it's because you have a fallen arch in there. You can start to lift that up as well. So easy exercise, look for that line of fire, release that big calf muscle, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions, I'm Marilyn Miller. You can email me at info@pilatesonhudson.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.